So I want to make a video on Henry Ruggs and what he's done so far. I feel like there's a lot of things he's doing well. There's some things he needs to improve on. And so let's just jump into it, and we'll start things off with this play. So they're going to play, what they're doing here is it's going to be a cover one blitz that they're going up against, that the Raiders are going up against. And for Ruggs, his route is he's going to have a route that's just right over the middle. This is not a very complex route whatsoever, but these are the kind of things that can work out pretty well. But what I don't love about this from Ruggs is this route's going to be it's going to show a bit of a lack of creativity, I feel like, from him. One way you can really make this route work is if you kind of try and fool the player you're going up against and make him think that you're running just straight up, or maybe you're going to be, going to one side, but you're actually going to the other. But as you see, Ruggs, he's basically just going to run his route exactly the way it is. And it's not so bad to do it just on any select play, but that's kind of what he's been doing for a lot of his route. I would love to see him do something like stutter step at the beginning of this route, or maybe even fake as though he's going to his left, then get to his right. But, again, a bit of a lack of creativity here. He's just going to try to rely on his speed to get past Carlton Davis. That's the corner who he's going up against. The problem is that in the NFL, it's just not going to work out. And as he tries to use his speed to finish off this route, it's just not going to work out, and there really is no separation throughout this entire play. Now, there ended up being defensive holding away from the play, so it had nothing to do with this play, but, they still got a first down out of it. But the point is that really, that I'd like to see him get a little bit more creative in those moments. Also, this next play is another good example of something he might need to work on a bit. A small thing, but can turn into a big thing. Where his route is going to run a route where he sort of fakes as though he's going over the middle, then is going to get to the outside towards the sideline. Jamel Dean is covering him. That's the cornerback for Tampa Bay. And again, once this play starts, notice how Dean kind of gets a late break, and so he's furiously trying to get back over and get in position now. So really, through no credit to Ruggs, he's in a good position right now. That this was just sort of lucky, but he's now in a pretty good position where he's going to be cutting towards the sideline. I shouldn't say it's all luck. He did a good job of selling at the beginning, doing a better job on this one of running his route, but now he has to get to the outside. And this is the kind of situation where, if you think about number one receivers, like, Ruggs has gotten compared to Tyreek Hill. If Tyreek Hill was in this situation, he's going to get wide open. However, for Ruggs, his cut's just going to be a little bit slow. And watch how his cut's kind of slow, and Dean is able to get back into the play, and there isn't a ton of separation. And that's the kind of thing where, again, if we're trying to put him into a conversation of can he be a number one receiver, which, given that he was drafted, when he was drafted, that's kind of what the Raiders are hoping for him, is to be a Tyreek Hill type. He's not there yet, and that's okay. He'll sort of get, as he gets older, as he knows more about how to beat these top-level guys, he'll know he has to cut a little quicker. He'll know he'll have to do some subtle things on his routes to get more open. So that's fine. He's a rookie. He's learning. It's all good. I'm not saying this is a way to bash him in any way. But I like to talk about both the positives and the negatives when reviewing a player. Those are some of the negatives that, those are some of the things I think he will work on. Now let's get into some of the positives, because there absolutely are some positives as well. Like, take a look at this one. This is going up against Kansas City. This is one of his big plays against Kansas City. It's going to be cover 2 zone that the Chiefs are in, but notice the Chiefs, they like to have their safeties a lot closer to the middle of the field than some other teams will. They don't spread them out as much. So sometimes towards the sideline can work out. And really the way this is going to work is that Ruggs is running deep and have another receiver who's kind of running a curl route, which is going to be sort of shallower, but still past where the linebacker will be in the middle of the field. Typically, the way this works is that the safety is going to stay deep with Ruggs, and that'll just set something else out. And that's kind of what the burner role is. A lot of times it's just running deep, pushing a safety deep, so that way you can throw something underneath. But once this ball is snapped, as you notice, the Kansas City safety, he really notices too late that Ruggs is running deep. He first is covering the guy who he's with in the black box right there, and as you see, Ruggs now has a situation where he can maybe get open. Carr notices this. He's going to take a shot downfield. It's actually not a perfect throw, but it still is able to be caught by a good catch by Ruggs there. And, it was his speed that set it up and gave him the quick separation to begin with. And also it was his speed that just got him to his spot quicker. So a safety, it just took longer for him to realize what was going on. I mean, that's the kind of thing about Ruggs. Like, listen, you can teach someone to be a better route runner a lot quicker than you can teach someone how to run a 4-3. Like, it's a lot easier to do that. A lot easier to say, hey, maybe try a, make a move at the line next time. It's a lot easier to say that than, hey, run a 4-2. His speed is something else. This next play will be another good example of that. On paper, this is going to look like a cover 1 play. It actually isn't, although it's somewhat similar. Basically, this is the same idea of a cover 1 blitz, where you have 1 safety deep and 5 players rush the passer, and then 5 just cover the 5 eligible receivers on defense. But instead, what they're doing is, instead of having a safety deep, the safety is going to cover the middle. So basically, there is no safety deep, but it's going to be a blitz, and you have someone covering the middle, which is what you often want to throw to when you see there's a blitz against man coverage, as typically when that happens, the safety is deep, meaning that you have the whole middle of the field to work with. The situation matters in a big way on this play. It's a 3rd down and 2, so that's a huge reason why they're dialing up this play. They're kind of trying to see if they can sort of bait Carr and trying to throw like a quick slant route or something over the middle, and then it can maybe even get an interception, which would obviously be huge. So that's what they're doing here. And for the Raiders, as you see, Ruggs' route on the screen is the perfect route against this coverage. It's running deep, and it's even going to start off to the side and then get deep to where it will be a one-on-one matchup. So all he has to do is beat his own assigned man, and this could easily be a touchdown. Once the ball is snapped, this part isn't anything crazy. Again, it's the kind of thing where, sort of I said, sometimes he relies on his athleticism and his speed to get open, which you can argue is a flaw, but at the same time, at this moment, not every receiver is going to get open here. This isn't a great starting point, but it doesn't matter because Ruggs is just so fast. Watch how he is able to just completely blow by his assigned man. Carr makes a perfect throw, and he is able to beat his one-on-one matchup and get the touchdown. Use the angle well as well, where they started off towards the top of the screen, but he ends up finishing all the way towards the bottom of the screen. That's just because, the angle makes it a little easier, makes it more difficult for them to tackle you. Really just, again, incredible athleticism from Ruggs. Personally, the way I describe a true number 1 receiver is, to be a true number 1 receiver, in my opinion, you have to beat other teams' number 1 corners and man coverage consistently. And I don't quite think he's at that level yet, but he's very close. He's doing a very good job for a rookie season, and he definitely has the potential to get there. And I also think it's worth mentioning, right now, I think he's a great number 2 receiver. That's where I really think he is, because he can run these routes that require multiple guys to be effective incredibly well. And what I mean by that is what I'll show on this next one. This is going to be a cover 4 zone play, and Ruggs is going to run deep. Ruggs is the one who is lined up higher on the screen of the 2 routes. You have a player who's going to run a quick curl route, and then Ruggs runs a route where he starts on Derek Carr's left, and then he's going to move all the way over to Derek Carr's right, over the middle of the field. And so Derek Carr is going to fake a handoff here as it's play action. He looks over the middle, and you notice that there are both Carolina players who are supposed to be deep on the bottom of the screen have moved over to cover a Raider who is not Ruggs. So now Ruggs knows that he has that deep section of the field open, which is great because that's where he's running at this point. Carr sees all of this. Carr is going to make a deep throw. Again, Ruggs is able to track it down, make the grab, and he nearly gets into the end zone for a touchdown. But it's just a well-ran route, and he can do every facet of those types of plays. He can be the setup guy. He can be the guy who makes the catch. So the fact that he can just run those routes well, he's a great setup guy. So that's why I say he's a great number 2 guy already. But until he gets to the point where he can beat number 1 corners and man coverage, he's not a number 1 yet, but he'll get there. And again, true number 1 is kind of an arbitrary term. It means different things to different people. To me, I'm talking like a Devontae Adams, a Tyreek Hill. Like, you don't necessarily have to be, prime Calvin Johnson, but you just have to be like, one of those guys. And he has the potential. Playing really well. I like what I see from him. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.